Hi everyone, Alchemist Lion here, and today we're going to take a look at Sinkhole and how I have this amp set up, because it does share a cross spawn with our tunnel amp, which I did last video. And so we're going to keep going counterclockwise from tunnel amp, and that's why we're hitting Sinkhole now. Sinkhole, it's located in the northmost point on the map. There is another northern amp to the northwest over here, but we're going to be focusing on this one first because we're kind of going counterclockwise. We went home base, which is your main one. Then I have over there imp amp. Then we went down into tunnel amp, and now we're coming up over here. So we do have the cross spawn to the east to deal with, and we have a spawn to the north to deal with that likes to come up from basically 3 different points. And so doing it dart only, we're going to take a look and see how the hell I get this one done. I'm here at the cross spawn, and if you haven't watched the tunnel video, it just kind of leads into tunnel, which is back over there. I'm going to have it linked in the descriptions eventually, so you can kind of cross-reference, but yeah, that would be our tunnel amp spawn. But now what happens is, as they spawn in, there's a secondary spawn that happens in this exact location, just a little bit, the tunnel spawn's over here, and then the spawn for Sinkhole is kind of up over here, and you see I have a bunch of builds up there, and it kind of spawns all the way down into this little tunnel system. So I said it before, but there are going to be things that break here. It's just I have these all to kind of go through that first wave and try to kill off some, so it saves a lot of the tunnel durability for later on when I'm going to need it. Same as just husks, damaging things and dying in here before they're dying out here. I'd rather try to get what I can out here. So sometimes you'll notice even the first time around, depending on what direction spawns, some of the stuff might go instantly. But it's set because if it comes from the other direction, that tile will probably stay a wave or two. And that's kind of how I have this set up. So all the placements, they're kind of put with intent. But I mean, technically you could just kind of spray them around and hope for the best, because I'm probably missing some, or I have some that might just break too quick. But again, I'm just trying to cover as much as I can without overdoing the structures, because I still wanted to be a decent amount under, so I have some flexibility later to play with this. So yeah, they're going to spawn in, and we're walking westbound now, because this is the east spawn of Sinkhole. They're going to be walking westbound. So the first thing I want to point out is the block off. We do have stuff here. Again, I mentioned it in the last video. I don't have anything darted here. I haven't needed to, but my intention was to put darts all around to avoid anything coming up and breaking through this. In addition, up over here, just to make sure things drop, so if anything spawns up here, we want them to drop down here and walk, around, or go down this way and walk around. And so we have all this set up so that it will kind of motivate them to do that, instead of breaking around and going other places that I don't want them to. And so you'll just see, I've just kind of lined it up. And I have double walls there. Very straightforward block off up here. And that's really all for up in the top part. The rest is all down here into the tunnel system. So this should be pretty quick because we've already kind of covered spawn. Where I really start this, different from the tunnel amp video, would be kind of right in this spot right here. So we have this kind of covering, and then right along this wall, I kind of wrap around it. And you can't build there without the floors, so I start with this floor piece and I kind of go across and down, and there is a floor piece, I believe, in this middle part too. No, okay, we don't have any, see, I don't even have 4 pieces here. It's more just where they want to walk, and that will pretty much count as a block off too, so that was probably intentional on my part. Yeah. So once they're right at this point, this is where the 4-dart thing really kicks in, and this is where the tunnel tries to do as much as possible, because we really have limited space because of the cross spawn, and we have stuff spawning in here to go towards tunnel. The stuff that spawns here to go towards Sinkhole, you have like almost half of your pathing unusable. Like, we can't build anything here because it would just go away with the spawns for tunnel amp. And that's really why cross spawns, let alone the durability, because you have two different amps spawning there, so you get kind of double the durability usage. A lot of things break. You just can't do things in this area where they would be pathing. So we have a shorter tunnel, so we have to make use of it and do some kind of creative things to ensure that they're not going to get to the amp before the end. Again, kind of the same way with Sinkhole. There will be damage. You will notice the amp taking hits. If it does fail, it's going to fail one of these two directions, and that's only if you get a bad random. I find about 30% of the time is kind of where I'm seeing it start to experience issues. But at the same time, that's doing nothing and having no ceilings or floors. So there's a lot of room here to build off of this pathing. So they go in here. You'll notice up here is blocked off, and this is all set up kind of dual serving purpose block off again for both spawn directions. Husks will try to travel this area, but I'm covering it in this video. So this is kind of how I have it set up. So this pathing here, it's all just blocked off to make sure they go around. And same as there, we have that blocked off. And anywhere there's block off, I have darts in case it does start to fail. It just buys some time. Because ultimately with this, the main thing is it's going to fail at parts. They're going to break through things, but everything is reinforced and fail-safed with additional darts, kind of to help reset durability, at the same time to ensure that damage is still being done if something breaks. And yeah. That's kind of the premise to this whole next part you're going to see. So once we get here, this is the edits that I've used to ensure that smashers won't break through here right away, same as mini bosses. It does happen, I'd say, about half the time, but it takes a long time. For the up till about wave 20, they're walking around. These edits right here with all the block off in behind is what I've been using, because this is a big issue for people. Just breaking up this, there's a ramp up behind here, which we'll see in a little bit, and they just like to break through and then get right to the amp, because we're really close to the amp now. Like if I go right here, the amp's right there, and this is the ramp up and their path to it, and you'll notice it is completely reinforced. They are not getting through that without major effort and without being shot by 4 darts constantly, which is the key to ensuring this works. So we'll go back into the tunnel and we'll do more. I'm going to try to cover everything because there's a lot in this little bit of space. So if I re-go over things, I apologize, but yeah, it's just to make sure everything gets looked at. So you'll notice everything is here, and then in behind this, because there's a wall there, but it's right here, and you'll notice I haven't needed to put darts here, but I probably would. At this stage, just because of how much it gets wrecked, every bit helps. So having darts here will help in that. And then I'm just going to cheat through here quickly. So yeah, that's right in behind there, that little barricade. Like I said, I would have darts behind all of it. That way, if anything does break here, there's more reinforced. Same as right in here, it's all darts in behind as the block off is there, and then the ramp up. And so they come up here and then they walk up, and you'll notice there's darts all over, but if we hop up, there's darts all in behind this. Again, I would probably have a dart here, but this has just been working, so I only do this when I'm really going through and looking at all the pieces individually for the videos, that I start to really like notice things that I might improve on. But yeah, at this stage it's been working so good, it's not actually a necessity, so I'll just kind of point it out when I see it. And as I said, I mean, floors, ceilings, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, even some of these can be converted with the darts in behind. You can convert these to sound walls and save yourself some durability, or save yourself some destruction with the TNT. There's so many different things you can do with this to make some really cool canny builds. So yeah, they go up this ramp. Darts, 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 darts. And then in behind, again, anywhere we can have one in behind, I have one in behind as a failsafe. And this is where you can start doing variety with traps, like the dynamo dart combo in the back end and stuff. I just really like, with the challenge with using the darts, I really like seeing that double-edged failsafe. And sometimes darts are just better damage, especially with the reloads and stuff of the dynamos. I just like the way these darts act right now. And then go in here. And again, as soon as they come up here, they're getting hit with those darts over there. Everything is backed up and built where I could back here because we're trying to delay them coming up this way. And then over here, where we have this block off and this ramp up, they will, if you'll notice, there is a spot where they can come up and walk up here. It's intentional. So if they break through to a certain point, instead of going towards the amp and trying to break through only 2 walls, what I'm doing is I'm having them go up, and then what they do is they'll drop down in here. So they see it as a shorter avenue to this spot, and it gives them more darts here to go through, and it kind of saves block off. Kind of helpful for mini bosses and smashers, but it is, if you notice, if say for some reason somebody did this and they were doing that, I have it on purpose because they will go down here to try to skip through to the terminal versus breaking some of this stuff, and I'm hoping to kind of keep some of this just, you know, for further protection. And then very just basic, I just have the tops covered just to avoid throwers. I do a little bit of like lobber shields, as you'll see right here. There is a little bit of a lobber shield just because I can't use anti-airs, and that's usually my main go-to. So I do have a little bits of lobber shield in places. This is one of them, because if you don't, they will throw. I've even had situations where they've, you know, come over here to throw beforehand, so I just wanted to make sure they were dying and dead before they even get to that spot. And this is the only part I needed to have, because this will get blown up. There's no roofs right here, so I have that set up that way. And then of course, fail-safe dart in behind this one. This is where the ramp's coming up, so if something went off and that wall broke, we still have a dart in behind still shooting. Again, everything's just extra layers of protection. And that is basically the east side. Not much more to deal with on that end. Now we're going to cover the north. So there's no real good vantage point to show this. So I kind of had to make a fake little like archway here. But the north spawn on this is kind of brutal if you're not accustomed to it. There is basically like 5 different ways they can get to the amp, and you kind of got to cover all your bases or you're going to have issues. I'll start with the easy ones first, and then we'll kind of go into the meat at the bottom here. But they like to path up and around sometimes. So we have this blocked off right here to stop them from coming up this way. In addition, they will also spawn up here occasionally, not all the time. So you can miss it. And so what we do is we just kind of have it blocked off so they're not just going to walk through this and drop down on top of any block off or anything you might have over here. What we're going to do is we're going to try to path them around. And so by putting this wall here, they'll basically drop down here. And this will also serve if they do break this for whatever reason and try to walk up and around. Now we have darts here, and it's going to kind of blend into the northwest build, but this is all set up for your Sinkhole Amp. And so you'll see I have darts here, a dart here, and then we're kind of just lining up this path. Kind of using our build for northwest as a structure setup so that we can throw darts this way. And then we have just kind of everything lining up. So already, as soon as they get here, it's 4 darts hitting them, and then it doesn't stop until we kind of get to the ramp, and we can't do that. And it's basically just lined up. It's really not complex. This is pretty straightforward. It's just a line of darts, literally just running down the whole thing. And funny enough, that little bit of lack of effort is all you need to ensure that nothing from that random spawn gets through here. Because not a lot of husks spawn up there. It's just enough to be a nuisance if you're not planned for it. So that is that side. The other side of this big canyon is over here. I'm just going to break my little platform here while I'm up. And they spawn up here. And they will try to go around, or they'll just kind of drop down, or if they can, they would walk over and just kind of drop up over here down towards the amp. So I have this kind of little like funhouse set up for them. We have all the spawn lined up with darts. Again, I don't have things in behind, but I could. It's just, again, where this was working without doing all of it, I was still trying to save pieces, but there's lots of areas that you can kind of reinforce with extra darts or do something different, incorporate it into the block off. And so I have all these darts set up, and even though this might break or go away eventually by people breaking it or smashing or blowing up with it, it's just good to have it starting to get some initial damage in. And then if they're going around, it then starts like a multi-dart setup as they're going in to drop down. And you'll notice I just have it opened and set up to kill the best way possible. If they do walk over here, I'm hitting darts on this side. And then in behind this, it's pretty much, because it's all just a cliff, it's all open. And then on this side, I have this roof here too, just, you know, to dissuade flingers, throwers, anything from throwing before they get down. And kind of give that less opportunity. Now, if anything tries to walk around, we have this dart first to start, and then over here, we just have these darts. This little fence, I haven't broken it, and I think it's kind of helping, you know, path anything that might to go this way. But in doing that, they're going to get hit with that dart, and then they're getting hit with all these darts as they're making their way over. But I haven't really seen anything go there or break that. I found that everything, because it's open enough to drop down here, that's their inviting path. Even with this little bit of, you know, non-block off, this is all that's been needed to make sure that everything paths down. And so once they're down here, they'll drop down, and then we're kind of merging with the normal tunnel. That would be for the normal spawn. But you'll see I just kind of have their drop down point all lined up with darts. In behind, it's going to blend in with block off for the spawn, but I'll just come and show you this. There's darts on either side just in case these two walls break. We have things in behind just to kind of reinforce the damage that's taking place upon descent. And then we just have the block off here, a dart right here, because there was going to be husks that spawn this way, and they will try to go up this way to break through if you don't have it set up the way I do. And instead, I want to try to get everything to path on the one path on this spot, and that's what we're doing with that little box there. We're trying to get them to all go over to this spot here. But before I jump into that, we're going to go right into spawn, and we're going to just take a look down here, because now we're kind of getting into the main meat of the actual tunnel system. Everything else is kind of dealing with like stragglers. The main meat of the spawns are going to come here, and they want to do two things. They want to either go up this way, or they just want to go straight up this riverbed area here. And so what we'll do is we'll cover this part first, just because I have this mostly blocked off. So you'll see we have all this lined up, but it's really up here. So we're 2 tiles from where it starts to elevate, and that's where I have it started to be blocked off. And that's just because you can get spawns coming right up here. It's kind of a far end spawn, but they will kind of backtrack down and around, which is nice. But I have it lined with darts because sometimes they just choose not to do that, and they choose to come up here and try to hit. I also have a little mini lobber shield just to stop anything from throwing right here. And then there's darts. Not a lot will go over on this side to beat. That's why we don't have a dart here. I do have one here just to kind of deter them from wanting to walk this way if there was no dart there. You want to try to keep everything as even level as possible to not give them a weakness point to target. But everything will try to path up and go through, like, you know, these 2 tiles here. In behind, you'll see because they do like to occasionally break through that, and I like to take care of and have fail-safes, everything is reinforced and backed up over and over and over to really make sure they don't do it. Since my last layer, I don't think I've seen them try to go this way, but this is how I have it set up to make it work. So we have the 4 darts, 4 darts. I even have a backup dart in case they try to go around the corner, and then right here, another kind of emergency dart, because a lot of times they will just try to take the closest path, and that's this side right here. So they won't be like going out of their way to break through block off. They're going to try to break through like the quickest path, and that's this tile here. So that's why this one's all extra reinforced. Yeah, and Then I have it lined up here. Again, we're trying to break. This is the main tunnel that I'm trying to funnel them all into. So right here, I have it all, again, just layered off. So if they are going to try to break through, they're not. If they got this far, I have a feeling they're going to try to come up this way. Or if they do break through here, it's not really a big deal because this is kind of where I want them to go. Either way, they're going into another trap tunnel. Like if they broke through here, even though there's darts right up here, and they try to go up this ramp right here, they're going right into my first dart tunnel I set up for this. So it's not really in their best interest. If their AI is dumb enough to make them go this way, though, I'm ready for it. Same as this way. I want them to go in here, because this is ultimately just a death trap. But we'll get into that, because that's coming up next. So it's the last tunnel. And we're going straight up in this way, up this ramp, and you'll notice this is where I said some of them spawn earlier. So I have 2 darts here. I do have things reinforced just because things around here do break because it's right at spawn. And we're not spawn trapping, we're not doing anything with ceilings. There's no floors, no sound, nothing to stop damage from being done. It just, I have to plan for it. So that's why we have like darts in the back here. So if something breaks, these darts, which are also being held up by that, are always going to be here even if those 2 walls break. And so we're just getting extra reinforcement, and it actually saves durability. I want these to break later on because it just refreshes a whole new fresh set of darts for them. And that's, you know, my evil methodical plan. Here, we could be doing stuff with these floors to give different pathing where we're not using them for traps. I just haven't really needed to do that. I didn't need to go that hardcore on this. I did do a thing with Spore on floors, and kind of like with the East spawn where I did those floor edits to kind of save myself some of them going up the ramp too early. There's a lot you can do with floor ramps, and the best designs I think I've done with floor edits is on Notsporebat's. He did a ceiling electric field only Stonewood, which is way more difficult than even the floor spikes only build that I did. Super insane to think of how much pathing you need to kill each husk that spawns with a zapper. But I'll link that video because it's definitely worthwhile to look at the build and see the edits and just see the crazy things that you can do with pathing. To make even a floor or a ceiling zapper work. It's kind of cool. But that's just a whole other thing. But yeah, you could do more with this to make the pathing even more solid, so that they can't get through, you know, too fast. But this side never has issues. The only sides you have issues on are those 2 cross spawns. Every other build in this is ridiculously solid for the fact that it's just 1 trap. I can't. Yeah, it blows my mind still. I've built it and it still blows my mind that it works as good as it does. I did try it in Twine and it did not work as good as it does here. I don't even want to show it. It just utter failure in some spots. But yeah, darts are an amazing trap though, regardless of Twine's idiosyncrasies. I see even here I could do a trap. I could even have another dart right here just to secure it. But again, I haven't needed, nothing goes in this. They're all pathing exactly like I want them to. I could even technically use that floor edit and really just try to stop them from going this way. But again, no need to. They all drop here. And this is the kill pit. This is where I want them to drop. Because there is literally darts everywhere here. And anywhere they go, they're just getting massacred. Could I have another dart here as a failsafe? Totally. Again, lots of things I can go in afterwards and say, oh, I could do that, especially as I'm going through this. But where I wasn't needing to, I was just kind of seeing what I could get away with. This is where it's at. And yeah, they just go around. You'll notice everything's floored up just so they walk around. Everything is just set up this way. It's kind of like a little spiral. And it goes up to this ramp. If they ever manage to get here, which I think maybe 2 or 3 husks, I know mini bosses can, they have to go up this way. Again, everything where possible. I do have reinforcements. There's nothing really needed on this side. It's more just once they get over here and up, and we've kind of covered this already. But now on this side, just for mini bosses, this is kind of how I have it all layered up, because they'll go around and try to beat on things. A lot of this is mostly for them. It just distracts them from breaking the main areas and gives them something to focus on. But yeah, that is how we have Sinkhole set up to be dart only. And that is how you crush Sinkhole. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy these builds. I like doing stuff like this. And yeah, I hope you can learn something. I hope it helps improve your builds. And yeah, I don't know, just seeing things in a different light. But thank you again. Have yourself a great day, and I'll catch you around.